Dear Lord, thank you for once again letting us gather here to spill out these thoughts and ideas that we have and come up with and, think over. And thank you. Coming from a real place of gratitude, and I'm so appreciative for all the blessings and the people that you have given me to interact with to help me progress and become a better person, all through your good graces and just the abilities that you give me, Lord, as well as everybody else. I want to ask that you look out and protect everybody, and hope they have a great rest of the year. And just a quick note, hunting season's right around the corner, and I want to pray that everybody has a safe and successful hunting season. Let it be your will, Lord. And just thank you for this beautiful day we have, beautiful weather. These things I pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Skeptics Podcast. My name's Dylan, and that is John Boy. This is episode 50, so half of 100 for those out there that can't get that one down. We start every one of these podcasts with John Boy giving us a update on how his life's going.
Yeah.
Give us the update, brother.
Update. Man, doing good. I touched on a little bit in the prayer, really feeling appreciative, and I've just been feeling real good past couple of days. I've gotten a lot of stress off of me, a lot of weight off my back, figuring that stuff out. And so just really appreciative, feeling good, grateful for everything I got. Life, I hate to always say, it couldn't be better, because everything could always be better. There's something I could be doing more, but it's pretty great right now. So,
right on. I have an update for the viewers, because now I don't think we even talked about this yet. So, as someone that likes to work out, I am not an addict anymore, but a user of caffeine.
Yeah.
It is something that I believe it can give you superpowers. I think it's on that level sometimes.
Yeah.
But that's all I've ever experimented in is supplements besides protein and everything. And that's all I've experimented in as any other substances until a couple weeks ago. I got to experience my first Zen.
Yeah.
3 milli vanilli.
Yeah, 3 milli vanilli.
And there wasn't a whole lot really going on.
Yeah.
I think at one moment, I stood up and I was kind of like, whoa. Now, this is also coming from a guy that's never been buzzed from alcohol. I don't even know how that feels. So, but I've heard so much about the Zen culture just making you dialed.
Yeah.
It's just locking you in. I even saw there was his name is Paul Salentino. I think that's what his name is. I could have butchered that. Lives in Costa Rica. He's a big health fitness guy.
Yeah.
And every time he comes to America, he'll go in and he'll talk about something that you can get in a gas station here or whatever. And he came out with a Zen. And I was really interested to hear what he had to say about it.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't have anything good to say about it, but everybody in the comments was like, dude, you're not even on the same level as we are. They were like, well, I've ascended to the next level of, I guess, hyper-focused, relaxation, whatever. There was one of my favorite comments was Paul took that Zen he was about to use, threw it on the ground, a hobo picked it up, and now he's a millionaire. He's figured it out. He's figured everything out.
Yeah.
So this got me and John Boy thinking, what is the things that could elevate you, could be good for you, and then the things that is bad for you, and is it all part of a system that is rather going to bring us down or bring us up? And so nicotine was the one that I was curious in.
Yeah.
And I don't remember, now I wasn't doing any hard task or anything like that. I was really sitting there with just enjoying a horse show. So I didn't feel like I could write an essay or I was on Adderall or anything like that. But which I don't even know if I've ever even taken that, now that I think about it.
I've taken focused medicine.
But
It wasn't Adderall, but
did it work?
I think so.
Interesting.
That was a really interesting time too, because let me just talk about that real quick. It was called Focalin, which I've heard is like it's supposed to be good stuff too. But either way, I can remember going to the doctor and they're like, "So how do you feel? Do you feel like it helped?" And as a kid, I'm trying to like analyze this. I'm thinking, did it not? And so I can remember like the first couple times I was like, I don't know, I guess. And they were like, well, like let's up it and see if that changes anything. So we upped it a little bit. And I feel like there was a point where it got to. It's been quite some time since I've taken any, but I was like, I was like, I guess so. I guess I'm more focused in class or whatever. But I don't know. It's such an interesting, like, using a performance, because that's what that is to me.
Right.
It's a performance enhancing drug.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's enhancing my ability to focus.
Right.
But it's such a weird thing, and I'm so like anti-medicine in general that like my sole goal is like not long after being on it was to get off of it.
Why are you anti-medicine? Because I'm the same way. But I want to hear, like, is it because you don't believe the system's really taking care of you, or you just don't think?
Well, I think realistically, I think there's so much that people have become reliant on that destroys your body more than it helps it, as far as any kind of medicine. Like even when it comes to like, I think it's ibuprofen. Like my grandpa was taking so much ibuprofen at one point that it literally ate holes in his liver, I think it was, or
I think
or his stomach, or something.
that might be Tylenol.
Or Tylenol.
Yeah.
It was one of those like that you take for aches and pains.
Yeah.
But he took too much of it, and it literally like ate holes in his insides. And I can remember like him having to have major surgery. It's a big ordeal. And I'm like, it's no longer helping you then. Like if you're in such bad pain that you're having to try to take these minor prescriptions and it's just destroying you internally, like there's got to be something else that you need to be doing. And so pretty quick, I decided that like, what is something I could do different to not deteriorate my body with external like supplements? You know, what could I be eating different? What could I be doing different physically? What can I change in my routine to help my body get a little bit more out of it? As well as the ibuprofen. Like when I do need it and I take it, it really does help me without being the detriment to my system.
Right. But did you think you need it every time you hurt your leg or something?
Yeah, I'm not like that. Like people are like, I've got a headache, I'm gonna go take some Advil.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not.
Yeah, I know people that's like, I got a headache, I'm going to go drink an energy drink.
That's wicked. I have done that because at one point I was drinking mad caffeine.
Right, and that's the thing that gets you back to whatever that baseline that you created is.
Yeah.
So.
But did that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw this recently, or I don't know if I sent it to you, but RFK Jr. and Pete Hegseth came together for like on the Department of Defense. If y'all didn't know this, the Department of Defense, CIA, and all that has a YouTube channel. Like you can go look up stuff about it.
Yeah.
And I believe it was on the Department of Defense YouTube channel. They had Pete Hegseth come in and Robert come in.
Yeah.
And they were doing a health and like fitness challenge, which it doesn't seem like we've ever kind of really seen this stuff before.
Yeah.
But I also don't know if we've ever had anybody that is so, like, eager to change, like, when it comes to health around the world, especially with Robert. And they were doing push-ups and pull-ups. And they both did, like, an extraordinary time on what time they could get this stuff done. So all that to kind of say, we've been seeing Robert change the system when it comes to, like, the dyes that we put in our food and some of the ways that our food is raised when it becomes to the meat and all that other stuff.
Right.
The time before all this happened, why was it like that? Was it like that because we're just skipping corners on things, or is there a agenda to use this stuff to, let's say, make us dumber? Like, we've been hearing, and I don't really know how you can really find the designated information about that. That's the toughest thing with all this stuff.
Yeah.
That IQs have been going down for a long time. Our food has also been getting consistently worse over time.
Yeah.
And we've also been eating more fast food over time, more frozen pizzas. And I love frozen pizza.
Yeah, they're great.
Over time. Why was it set like that in the first place? If they never had to use the stuff to begin with, because we're now seeing cereal companies change don't use the red 40. They're just going to take that out.
Mm-hmm.
What was the reason for using that?
I think originally the market was unregulated, and it was a race, right? Like, you have these massive companies like Kellogg's, or I'm trying to think of some of the other. I can picture their signs, but like these companies that make the cereals and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and they make some of these other foods, what they seen was people who wanted easy stuff to go and pick up. They didn't have to do any kind of prep work. And then they also want to make it more appealing, right? Because they say you eat with your eyes first.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you get a plate of food and it looks disgusting, you're less likely to want to eat it or enjoy it, even if it tastes delicious, because you look at it and it looks disgusting.
Right.
So similar thing, right? If it's a bright packaging and the cereal is all pretty and you're like, oh, that's really cool, it's really pretty, it's more appealing to the human, to people in general, right? This kind of advertisement. And for them, I think they're competing with each other in an unregulated market to who's going to be the biggest, who's going to be the best, everybody wants to be number one, right, in their space. So if their goal is to be number one ease of access food in America, so they want to be the number one breakfast in every household. All right, whatever it takes.
So you think they know the information that this is probably not for good for people, and they're just like, go for it?
Yeah, I think I have it saved somewhere. I need to find that, actually, where the cigarette companies went before the Supreme Court and swore that they weren't bad.
Well, there's some people that still to this day don't think they are.
But it's been proven that they cause cancer.
I've read the same thing that you do, but I don't condone anybody smoking.
Right.
But every now and then you'll meet that one person that's like 96 years old, and they've been smoking since they were 17.
Yeah, I mean, my grandpa, he made it to his 70s, 80s.
Right. And then the average, what's up?
And he's been smoking since he was 12.
We have a guest. And we're back with a clothes change in an hour later. Always help out your wife, boys. Always help out your wife.
Yep.
So where I think we were at was we were talking about these different supplements, and one, what are they really doing to your body? And two, who's implementing them into your lives, and is it a good thing? That's what I
think you're questioning whether or not their intentions were good or bad.
Yeah, because I believe we already talked about it on here, that it seems like IQ has been going down lately, along with men's testosterone.
Mm-hmm.
And if we believe that this is true, why? So I'm curious, what's your reasons? What do you think why? Say it was true.
Okay.
Why do you think it is? Men's testosterone going down. Let's just start there.
Start there. Okay. Well, I think initially it's probably a combination of a couple of things, like a lack of any kind of physical activity, right? So, like, I'm not big into working out, but at the same time, I enjoy going and doing some, like, manual labor type of tasks. And so I do have some regularity of physical activity, and my job, I guess, requires a certain level.
Also, we ought to throw this out. I don't think either one of us have ever had ours tested.
No.
So we could be low. We don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I definitely think has to correlate with like your mental and like the stress levels that you're dealing with, depending on like just with, I think, the current world views that are pushed. And on top of that, what you're putting in your body and how that's affecting all of your different levels that would be checked with like blood work, you know, and like the different minerals and stuff that you may not be getting that would help balance out the stuff going on inside your body.
Do you think this was implemented in for an overall goal?
No.
You think it's just how it is?
I think it's just how it is, and I think a lot of it is on us. I think a lot of it's on the people, you know.
For sure.
Like people wanting to have things easier. People wanting to choose sweets over real foods. You know, people wanting to choose microwave pizza versus like a real pizza made with real ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
You know, something that was cooked in a lab versus came from the earth.
And you know, that's such a kind of like the chicken and the egg thing. It's just like, yeah, I do think there needs to be a high level of accountability because there's a lot of healthy. I think the world's actually getting healthier now. It seems like to me. It seems like a lot of people are trying to get in shape, eat the right foods or whatever.
I agree.
But there's a line of, well, if they didn't make it harder to eat healthy, which I do believe they do, whose fault is it? So and how do you meet that threshold? Because you know, let's take like porn example. It's a completely different thing, but you were talking about on the mental side.
Yeah.
Obviously, it wouldn't be a thing if everybody stopped watching it.
Right.
But we know that's not going to happen.
Right.
We pray that happens, but we know it ain't going to happen. But if it was never there to begin with, you would never have to worry about it. So there's the line that you're trying to meet,
right?
Of whose fault. I don't really know if fault is the correct word, but the more that you look at it, the more it seems, to me at least, it seems like they're trying to do something,
right?
Because if you take 20 years ago and the stat was true that every man's testosterone was higher, everybody was healthier and all this other stuff, and you look back and there was not the ability to be able to get as much crap as there is now, why continuously do it? Obviously, there's a paycheck involved. Obviously, that part too. But at what point are you supposed to be like, the paychecks no, because I'm trying to make America healthier? So
that's something interesting. I actually was listening on Joe Rogan the other day. And I'm trying to remember who the guest was. It's probably Chad Wright because I've been listening to him a bunch. But I was listening to that podcast, and they were talking, and there's a guy who has a farm where he has tried to actually grow vegetables for like mass produce, like to be sold to companies like Walmart and stuff like that. And he's tried to do it without what they call industrialized farming. Okay. Versus like this farm that they're referencing, they say the dirt is so much darker and richer in color, and like all these other things can grow there, and it takes a lot more work to grow the vegetables or whatever that you're after, whatever your crop is, versus like there's these other huge farms where there's literally no weeds growing. Only the plant you grow, like soybeans, is one they reference. Only soybeans will grow there because the plant has been so modified in a lab, and the dirt is so much chemicalized and sprayed, and so are the plants, that only soybeans can even grow there because like they have poisoned the ground pretty much to let only that plant that they've modified grow.
Right.
And they were talking that it's been that way for so long because there's so much need for food that they don't even know how you would change it, because the other guy had to lose money and invest for like 5 years before he ever started turning a profit trying to do it the like natural way.
Right.
And then 10 years in, it's still not a profitable business. Like, it's just enough to keep the cycle going.
Right.
And so
it is. I could be completely wrong about this, guys. And there's a lot of things I think people get messed up about this. But what I always refer to when it becomes to this kind of stuff is there's multiple parts, I believe, that it speaks about in the Bible about don't get greedy, essentially.
Yeah.
Don't wish you had so much. And not saying that like rich people are bad. I'm not saying that by any means.
There's actually a time like that's okay.
Yeah. So, but my question ends up being, at what point is the major profit not supposed to be worth it anymore?
Well, and my question is at what point did you change your mind? Was it the prophet that changed their mind to industrialize that farm?
Yeah.
Or did they start out with good intentions, and they were like,
"Oh, I believe that."
You know what I mean? They're like, man, we would lose less and be able to grow more and provide a better, product.
Yeah.
By doing it this way. But the only drawback is we're going to have to use 100 different chemicals.
Yeah, I think a lot of stuff is probably started for good intentions.
Probably, and
it's just somewhere down the line. And like you said, I think you said maybe at the start of this podcast, they may not even know it.
Yeah.
Like that, like they may not think that it's going the wrong way.
And that's a great example, actually. Like, and I do want to say this real quick, talking about people getting greedy with it, because I've been saying this so much recently. It's a great saying, so use it all you want. I got it from my friend Donna, legend.
Pimp.
She said, pigs get fed, hogs get slaughtered.
Yeah.
Right? So it's okay. And even like we said, it's okay to be rich. Okay? Yeah. And it's okay to make money. And it's okay to want to have a big farm and be all about it, or whatever your business is. It's all good. But when you get to the point where it's just more, it's, that's whenever could be a problem.
Yeah.
Because you're being a hog. You're just taking every bit you can get and you're pressing for more.
Do you think
you're not just eating anymore?
I'm trying to give let's just example.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to take all the dyes out of the cereals right now.
Yeah.
And all that other stuff. Obviously that's going to cost money because you're going to have to change some things.
Right.
Do you think, say Kellogg, I believe they make cereal.
Yep.
Robert's pushing this to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Is the owner of Kellogg happy about it, or is he mad about it?
Mad.
I
would think.
I would think too.
Yeah.
At what point do they need to swallow the pride and be like, it's healthier for Americans not to do this? Do you think that's their responsibility? I do, as a Christian guy, but I also think it's the responsibility of the individual not picking the cereal.
Well, I think it's fine as an individual if you want to have a bowl of cereal, have one.
Yeah.
But maybe not make that your main source of nutrients.
Yeah.
Because
but if you're the owner of Kellogg and Robert's like, Red 40's poisoning our children.
Yeah.
And you're just like, nah.
You're like, I'm losing right now.
How do you fight that if it is true?
I don't know.
And how could you fight that and be like, man, I care for humanity?
I don't know how you'd fight it that way.
I don't either.
The only way I could see it is if you come out and was like, there's two ways I think they could try and fight it. One is they come out and they push the same thing that gets everybody fired up.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to take away your freedoms. They don't want to let you eat what you want to eat.
Man.
And that one gets people united.
That gets people. You're right.
The only other one I could see is if they come out with information, whether it's real, fake, that's up, I don't know. But they get a team of guys that they have paid $1 million a piece, and they come up with information, data to support that it's fine. You know, they run a bunch of tests that biased, unbiased, however they make it work, that shows, no, red 40 ain't the problem.
Because you know what else would lose them money? If you just didn't buy the product.
Oh, yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, outright just loss of.
But as greedy human beings,
yeah.
you don't even. There's multiple times where you're walking down through the thing at Walmart and you don't even think about it when you grab the box of Captain Crunch.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, this might just be lowering my testosterone, making me not live to 100. But then you argue that on the other side, and we have the longest rate of life.
Yeah.
Than I think we've ever had. I think the average human now lives to like 85.
I think so, yeah.
And it's like versus back then it was like 60 something.
And then you also have you have the people who are like, it's more niche, but like that one guy they interviewed, he was like 105. And they said, how'd you make it to 105? He said, I drink a glass of whiskey every day. Yeah. And I smoke a cigar every day. They're like, he said that's the only thing he does consistently every single day.
Because even though we eat all this stuff,
yeah,
your body is a machine.
Oh, it's
like it's adapted as best that it can.
Yeah.
It's just like we were talking about earlier. I've used to drink like caffeine in the afternoons every day.
Yeah.
And it was like a white monster that has like 140 milligrams of caffeine in it. And as older I get, this is crazy, but it doesn't seem like white monster hits as much anymore. And I mean the taste. I don't even mean the caffeine anymore because at that time I didn't care. But then I started upgrading myself to these bangs and these reigns and these all this stuff, 300 milligrams in these things.
Yeah.
And I love the taste of them as well. Not necessarily, I'm not shooting for 300 milligrams. I actually could show you a message I sent the Rain team on Instagram that was like, please make whatever those Red Bull cans are.
Oh, yeah.
However many ounces those
small
are.
Ones, yeah.
Please make one of these with like 150 milligrams of caffeine in it. I would buy these every day probably. Every day. Versus me buying a 300 milligram one when my pre-workout's 200 milligrams that I drink in the morning.
So that's what's crazy to me because like, I had been really slow. I'd always been warned about like, how energy drinks can affect your body.
I'm with you.
And like, I even know somebody personally who was working. Now, this is how it gets people though. You know, he was working like 3-4 jobs, and living off of energy drinks pretty much, and had a seizure.
Yeah.
And they took his license away. So now, how do you even get to your jobs? You know.
Yeah.
So now you put a strain on your significant other, as well as yourself, because it's not like you're a person that has seizures all the time, but the feds don't know that. The government don't know. They don't care either. They just don't want you having a seizure and having a car wreck.
Right.
So, you know, it can really put a dampen on you in a realistic way like that. But I was slow to come around. Well, then I started drinking coffee more and more. Mm-hmm. And I love coffee first off. Like,
I don't even drink coffee anymore.
Like the taste of it, I genuinely enjoy.
Yeah.
And I'm slowly thinking about trying to get myself closer and closer to drinking just straight black coffee because I've heard of like more benefits to doing it that way, as far as like super low calorie, and it helps my digestive system. Mm-hmm. And people argue that, but it genuinely does mine.
No sugar hit.
No sugar hit. Just the pure from the bean juice.
Yep.
But then Jocko Fuel come on the scene. So people that know me know that like I'm a Jocko fanatic. And so like Jocko Fuel come out and 95 milligrams caffeine, just like a cup of coffee, like I drink every morning.
Yep.
And I thought, okay, I can get behind that. And they make it with like more natural and clean ingredients, and they show you that. Yeah,
but is that still, if you had to put it up against just black coffee, which one's healthier? or which one is going to give you less of problems, I guess we could probably say.
Most people would probably argue that coffee, and I would probably lean that way.
That coffee's better?
Yeah.
Right.
But out of all the energy drinks I've looked at, they have no artificial dyes. Mm-hmm. They use natural sweeteners to sweeten it.
Right.
And they use natural caffeine to caffeinate it. So, and they put a bunch of like supplements in there for you, like vitamins and stuff.
Right.
So, I mean, on the scale, that's pretty solid.
Right. If everything on it's true.
Yeah.
which is just, it was with anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm smelling what you're stepping in. Have you ever heard the thing with, like, when it comes to the food, like the healthiest food is a single ingredient food?
Mm.
So it's like steak
Yeah.
is beef.
Yeah.
Like when you go look at the back of a
Yeah.
steak, it just says beef.
Yeah.
And if you got like chicken, it says chicken.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, then you go to like some kind of yogurt, and it's like things your grandma couldn't even understand is on the back of this thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of people live their lives like that, and they say it's the healthiest. To this day, everybody still says that's the healthiest. And I almost want to lean towards it is, because it is just a single thing.
Yeah. Whole Foods.
It's just whole food.
Yeah.
But it's like with like coffee, is coffee just coffee? Like, is it the coffee beans and then that's it? There's nothing else in there?
So that's
I've never looked at the back of a coffee thing and even read it.
well, that's where you got to be careful, because like we were just talking about with the other foods, and even your Whole Foods. That's what I was getting at with those.
Yeah.
Even because you go to the store and you buy some lettuce, dude, it may have been sprayed and washed in chemicals before it got to you.
Yeah, but you'll never ever even be able to know probably that.
Probably not.
No.
Same thing with your coffee, though.
Right.
So they could say 100% ground coffee beans, nothing else in here.
Right.
But how'd they get them?
Hey, Ray, I'm with you.
So, I mean, you can.
But I would argue that's still probably better
It's
than most
probably,
stuff.
yes, I would agree. That's going to be a lot closer.
Right.
You know, and that's ironically going back to it. Something that me and you have discussed before, and I was telling you about my hunting the other day, and I was going into all the reasons why I love it. That's it's a smaller reason for me. It's so much more important to me than just knowing that it's like clean food.
Yeah.
But that is a part, like, that is, it's hard to explain, like, how I feel knowing where the meat came from.
Yeah, but in the same time, I'm agreeing with you. But you still don't, though. Like, imagine that deer, all it ever really ate was some dude's field that he's been blowing pesticides in for the last
True.
whatever.
Very true.
But I still agree with you, though.
I could argue, though, for, like, particularly where I live really close to
even
a clean area.
Yeah, even if it wasn't a clean area, though,
Yeah.
it's still just meat.
Yeah.
Like that's it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, that goes back into, like, even, so, like, people who try to grow deers, like I want the deers that live in my area to be bigger.
Right, exactly.
And I want them to have fancier antlers, right?
Yes.
So I'm a person that feeds deers to
Right.
make them bigger and cooler, you know?
Yeah.
And that plays a factor too. Like,
For sure.
like the feed that I get, it's made here in the state, actually.
Yeah.
And like, I've read the ingredients, and it's all like natural stuff. But to that exact point, probably came from a farm where they use chemicals.
Right.
But at least when I open the bag, it smells like peanut butter. You know what I mean? So we're going to be closer to that whole food, like peanut butter would be, right?
Yeah.
Like if you get natural, I should say peanut butter. But I'm trying in all those areas to get me closer to that clean fuel, as they say.
Right. Because it's like, the go into the conspiracy of that they're poisoning you on purpose.
Yeah.
We've had the talking here multiple times about the Boston Tea Party. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The Boston Tea Party?
Yeah.
And
I was just thinking about something.
And it's you sit there and you think, when is enough of enough? Like, when is it time to do something about a certain whatever?
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, we were just talking about throwing tea over the harbor.
Right.
Is the reason why most stuff like that don't happen now is because, as a society as a whole, looking at the statistics, we've become weaker, and we get more. It just like the thing with the pistol braces.
Okay.
Like, there's one side of the spectrum that's like that's against the Constitution as a whole. That's a thing.
Yeah.
But we've been so We've put up with it forever, and nobody's throwing fits about it. Now we're trying to do it the right way, but if the people making the choices are not in the right mindset, it doesn't matter anyways.
But my curiosity still goes back to like we talked about earlier. Do they start out with good intentions and then
I do think so,
and then end up where we are? Because, like, here's my main question: what is the goal if they're going to poison us?
Make us weaker for sure.
Why?
Because we come so complacent with everything. We'll never do anything about it. Like example, everybody calls Donald Trump a dictator.
Mm-hmm.
If Donald Trump, and I'm somebody that voted for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Now I've not been happy with him about the Epstein thing, but he still does some good stuff. That's just what it is. If Donald Trump came out tomorrow that he's actually going to be a dictator, I think everybody's so complacent that it would just be like, oh, okay.
You really feel like that?
Yeah, I do. I think if not, I think we're getting to the level of that to where it's just so. We think it ends up being so normal because rather deep down in ourselves we don't think the fighting back will work or whatever the case is. I do believe that. Yeah,
That's crazy.
and I'm not that.
I'm not saying that you're wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like that would be.
Well, not that. It's one of my big questions. I'm always anxious to ask Christians, and this is kind of going off in a whole different place. Is how do you stay optimistic when we know the way that it ends? We know it's not going to get better. It doesn't say that in the Bible anywhere, I don't think. I think it says it's literally going to get worse all the time till when Jesus comes back and he's like, it's on at this point. So we all sit here and pray that just say our country as a whole gets better.
Yeah.
But if the Bible's true, which we believe it's true, you know the answer to that. And I often wonder at what point is somebody, and maybe it's not, maybe I don't think it's like we're sitting at a big table and they're like, we're about to start effing up Americans, like in a way they'll never understand.
Yeah.
But on the other end, I almost think it does that because I think there is a level of person that does crazy stuff like that. And I think there's maniacs out there, and it's not that they believe they're evil. It's just they want the power, and then they want the stuff that comes with the power, to where it's just nobody's going to do anything about it anymore. That's what I think we're getting to the point of now. Right as of right now, it seems like we're starting to like get some kind of stuff going. Everybody's wanting to be a little bit healthier.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to eat better.
Yeah.
Everybody there's a lot of self-improvement going on right now, which I think is cool.
Yeah.
I'm all about that thing.
Yeah, I agree.
But if the Bible's true, which I believe it is, it doesn't shape up for us in the end, and it shows that man, meaning men and women, can do some terrible things.
Yeah.
And I almost believe that it's part of it. Like you remember back then, and I don't think this was necessarily intentional, but there's a part of me that questions it. You remember the food pyramid that we had back then?
Mm-hmm.
Like now, that whole thing's a lie. Like, but why did they teach you that to the beginning? Was it for some reason over the last 10 years we've had knowledge that this is wrong?
So I asked him about this recently. I'd had a debate over this because people like to debate a lot these days,
Which I think's good.
Yeah, so sometimes.
As long as you're not trying to like.
It's got its downfalls.
It's got its downfalls if somebody means harm to the other one or bad intentions to the other one.
Well, I think some people just want to argue just to get their point across. They don't actually want to like have a debate.
Well, that's true, but I mean, if it does happen, they end up looking like a fool anyways.
They don't always see that.
That's like I'll never turn anybody down to talk on this podcast, because if I don't agree with you and you're just going to sit here and yell at me about things, the comments are going to show what it is.
What if they say you look like a wiener?
I think if you're authentic enough, I think nowadays,
Yeah.
I can't remember who says it the most. Watch out, you got a wasp around you.
Yeah.
I can't remember who said it the most, but our BS scale's getting better.
Mm.
And I think people pick that up.
Yeah, it's because we have to deal with stuff like AI and the internet.
I don't even think it's that. I think we've just been. They've tried to bamboozle us so much at this point to where it's just like, it ain't. It's like so the whole thing with the Epstein list.
Yeah.
You're still, and I'm harping on that till the end of the day. Everybody can hate me in the comments. I don't really give a crap. But you're gonna tell us you have all this stuff and then blow it off like you never had any of it?
Tell you to let it go.
Tell us to let it go. And the big man said that too, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So what else am I supposed to think? Obviously, there's a BS meter that's sitting there taking this like, dude, so they're getting riled up about this for some reason.
Yeah.
And I think everything's getting better like that. So, which leads me to believe that they're doing this on purpose. Not to say that it wasn't good intentions at the start, but
well, that's what I think. Like the food pyramid. So that's what I was saying earlier. Is like I talked to somebody about this, and they said that they felt like that had come out in a time where people were doing things in an abundance, right? Where like there wasn't any kind of like people weren't teaching people how to eat healthy. Like that wasn't common. Nobody taught you how to be healthy eaters. It was just like they taught you in school about school stuff, and then they taught you whatever else. But like people in their homes didn't talk about how to eat healthy. You just ate food. And so that had come out in a time where people didn't really talk about it, and they were trying to get the ball rolling by saying to have a balanced diet. This is what they was arguing with me. They were saying that it's to have a more balanced diet is what they were trying to get at.
a balanced diet.
Instead of being like literally follow it verbatim, they're saying just to try to be more balanced.
So the balances have more bread than anything else? And I like bread. I'm not saying it's bad.
Well, I don't know,
but
in that time period, I don't know how much people were consuming bread, but maybe people were eating a lot, and they were trying to say like, hey, because isn't it at the bottom?
Yeah, that's the foundation. That's the Peter of the pyramid.
Yeah. But they're saying that like if a pyramid, like that's the lowest end too at the same time. So like maybe you shouldn't prioritize bread because it's down here at the bottom. Maybe you should prioritize some of the stuff that's higher up. You should balance your diet. You shouldn't be eating as much bread. Like here you go.
See, I thought that was saying eat the most of this, eat the most of this, eat the most of this. That's what I thought that was saying.
There is a version out there that does that, but
Okay.
I don't know if like that's how it started. That's what I was getting at. Like I don't know if it originated as that.
Like I would think from all the information that we've had for a long time,
Yeah.
like protein should be the main.
I think it is too. I think it's at the top of the scale. Food.
Do you think it was at the top of the food pyramid? I thought vegetables were.
Let's look. Because I found this one looks more like the one I seen at school. All right.
There was a question I was going to ask you too, but I can't remember.
So this one at school is built more along the lines of what you're saying. It seems the food pyramid, and it starts with like what you should eat every day and the servings per day. So here we go. At the bottom, vegetables, salads, and fruit 5 to 7 times a day. 5 to 7 servings.
That's definitely not the one I saw.
Wholemeal cereal, bread, potatoes, pasta, rice 3 to 5.
Okay.
Milk, yogurt, and cheese 3. Meat, poultry, fish, eggs, beans, and nuts 2. Fats, spreads, and oils in very small amounts, it says. And then food and drink in high fat, sugar, and salt. And it has a picture of like potato chips, a muffin, some candy, and a soda.
So that's the least amount you should eat.
And it says not every day.
Huh.
I do remember. I feel like I've literally seen
You got a
this
picture?
specific one. Yeah. Like I swear that was at school.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
I'm pretty confident.
Huh. It's interesting. See, I almost question. Like, I think you should eat more protein than you should vegetables.
So that's a whole like train of thought.
Yeah, it's always obviously at the end of the day, guys. We're getting into the nitty gritty here. Just eat your the amount of calories you need to be able to sustain your weight, and then eat less calories if you want to lose weight, and eat more calories if you want to gain weight.
I must say, and the realistic part, a little bit deeper than what you're saying, just a little bit deeper. I want to go just like another layer.
Let's go.
Is figure out what you need.
Yeah.
Okay. If you don't know, right? And
that's why there's blood work.
And what we're saying doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
If it's like lose weight, eat less calories, gain weight, eat more calories, whatever, right? Go to the doctor or go find somebody. Go find a what are they called? Like a food person, somebody who knows about nutrition, a nutritionist.
Like me.
That's exactly what I was looking for. Like my friend here. And talk to them, Like if you're wanting to go to the gym and you're wanting to, do this and this, okay, well, then we need to be eating this kind of food.
Yeah, for sure.
In this kind of range. So there's people out there to help you. It's available.
And like I said, I think it's getting better.
I think so, too. And there's so much online.
Yeah.
So just get...
Even ChatGPT now, dude.
Oh, my gosh. Yep. I forget about... Dude, I literally asked it one day because I like to talk to mine.
Yeah.
And that's what they say is the best way. There's a little pointer for you. And I told it, and I said, "Hey,
hey, baby girl, make me a."
That's not what some of my other friends told me to call it.
Yeah.
I said, yeah. I said, make me a plan, okay? For 5 days a week, I'm trying to maintain or even put on a little bit of muscle.
Yep.
At this weight, this is how old I am. This is how regularly I'm getting a certain level of physical activity. I don't exercise every day. This is where I'm at. And it was like, perfect, here you go. And they were like, would you like it to be more this or that? And I said, I want it to be more whole foods. I said, okay, perfect. I can do that. Because it had a lot of supplements. Like I need to be drinking a lot of protein shakes and stuff. Whereas then it replaced it and was like, okay, well, for your breakfast, you need to be eating like a protein.
Yeah.
And then at lunch, you need to be eating a protein. And so it can literally help you.
I got a question for you, and this is going to be a cool question.
Yeah.
Coming from a guy that doesn't live in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
First question, does it seem like the world's trying to get healthier to you?
I would say I've seen a shift in people.
Why do you think that?
I think there may be a couple of reasons. Some of the social media side of it were like big time famous people like in the social media space are talking about how much better off you are for being healthy. Like that's such a push, and that's being pushed more than anybody else right now.
I believe you.
Yeah.
But the reason I'm making a weird face is how crazy that is from, let's take 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Everybody was hating on social media for healthy people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was like heaven forbid some girl's flexing in front of a mirror, and everybody was like, "Oh, you're fat shaming people and blah blah this and blah blah that." And I think it goes back to the BS meter thing.
Yeah.
But, and I'm not saying people don't struggle with that now. People seeing that and comparing themselves to them, but it does seem like there has been a shift.
You want to know something else though? I think that's important here
To see people like, hey, I could do that.
You know what's another part of it though?
Huh.
I think COVID, hear me out. People they're stuck in their homes, they're locked up. They're not getting out and about, they're not getting this exercise. And so people who had like a mild amount of time outdoors were really missing it. People who were super active was really missing it. But then you have people who have never really thought about it, but now there's this idea like about getting sick, and people are thinking about, okay, how do I prevent being sick? Be healthier. And I think that pushed an insane amount of people to want to be healthier. They don't want to be sick.
So you think, okay. I've never thought about it like that. And that makes me think stuff because, like, I might be one of the conspiracy theorists that thinks COVID's kind of. And if it was intentionally done, we'll probably get flagged for this. I really don't care.
I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, well, yeah. If it was intentionally done, that backfires hard. I mean, think about it. You're doing something to see how many people can comply.
Yeah.
With the little information that's given to us about the thing, and then yet you start turning people to become like an army of healthy people. Dude, that's a kick in the face. And I hope if that was the intention, I hope they realize that. They're like, not only did it backfire, it's now raising people to be healthier.
I would say it's probably a high percentage on both people who decided
to
go vax and the people who didn't.
Yeah.
Like, I think the people who didn't, that's going to be like in the 90th percentile are probably like thinking, how can I do this an alternative way?
Right.
And then the people who did, they're probably still a high percentage, 75% probably was thinking like people who either got sick or worried about getting sick. And they're like, yo, I got to be healthier so that I don't get sick. Because that's been proven.
Yeah. No, you're right. Dang, I've never even thought about that with the COVID thing.
Yes, sir.
That's crazy.
It is, man. Wild stuff.
Try to pull one on you, but you step back on it, dude. I love that. If that's true, that's awesome.
What's funny, though, is like, what if you're building your own narrative? What if they didn't? What if they weren't trying to, like, dupe everybody and kill everybody?
Well, then
and it was one big accident.
Then I would say, if I was Donald Trump, I would say, our country is the greatest country ever. We got the strongest, most healthiest people. I have the most terrible Donald Trump accent possible. But that's what I would be saying. I would be like, we're tanks.
Yeah.
We just took that like a champ. China ain't got nothing on us.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And then like post some picture of a bodybuilder or something. Because that's awesome if that's true. I've never even thought about that. That gets me pumped up.
Go ahead.
I didn't have anything.
I thought you were about to say we were done.
No.
Okay. Speaking of that, somebody showed me a picture
No, we're good.
of the beach today. What the beach would look like this summer. Somebody went and took a picture.
The beach?
The beach. Like, picture PCB.
Okay.
Okay, hear me out. And they showed a picture of a beach from, like, the 60s.
Oh, yeah, and like everybody's jacked and in shape.
Not even that, but it was just popping. Yeah,
Oh.
I would say probably, and, like, that's what I was about to get to, but, like, people are probably, like, 90% of the people on the beach was, like, in decent shape.
Yeah.
And then this other side, like this new picture, like the average family wasn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I've got a reason to this. We're getting there. So everybody stick with me. What I'm curious on is,
What if you're about to say the same thing I'm thinking? Continue.
when did they normalize the dad bod? And like,
When did they?
Like, when does that become, like, at what point do we make a transition as society where that's like,
The thing?
yeah, because like if you look, as well as, what do you think caused that? Is it because there was less people working in factories and we have more people working in offices? Or, what do you think that is? And then also, at what point was it like girls are like, you know what, it's fine. I don't mind a little bit of belly on this guy. They're actually looking for it, some of them.
Huh.
They don't want a super fit guy. Or even just a healthy, what we're
I may
calling...
not have a good answer on this one.
Yeah.
Because I think as a society as a whole, like when you all start going downhill together, it just all comes downhill together.
Mm-hmm.
So once I'm not saying it's one person's fault versus the other, but I think it's like once example, if I was an overweight dude, I would most likely shoot for an overweight woman
Mm-hmm.
because for like you don't want to make people look at you like you're like a shameful. I don't really know if that's really the right way I'm putting this here. Is if I'm underweight or if I'm overweight and I get like a smoking hot model, there's going to be a thought in your head every time you're out with that person. There's somebody's going to be like, dude, that's effed, or that does not look right, or whatever. And I think it's just gotten to a point to where it's back and forth between people trying to hold standards with each other.
Yeah.
Because you get so comfortable. I think that's one thing that's just happened throughout life is we got comfortable. I mean, we got AC in our house. Back then they didn't.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like 1960.
Yeah. But I get the point.
And I think over time, I think it just the more comfortable everybody gets, the more lenient everybody gets. Because I think personally, because I'm somebody that likes to stay in good shape, I find women that are in good shape the most attractive.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to think if I was not, it wouldn't be as a big of a deal.
I feel like you would also want it to be a little bit more relatable.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like imagine.
Yeah. And there's a level of discipline that shows to.
Well, yeah.
Then we went through this whole movement though where nobody cared about that.
Yeah.
We're coming out of that now
Mm-hmm.
to where it's like it's okay to be obese. I mean, it's not. And I say that as somebody that I hope anybody that is trying to get healthy, and I think most people are, which is awesome. But for us to just sit there and acknowledge that it's fine, it's not. Because I want that person to live a great life. And you can't tell me your life's going to be worse because you're in shape. It doesn't line up to me, because I'm coming from it with a good heart. But I think that's how it happened. I think with the dad bod, I think it got to the point to maybe some women were just kind of like, hey, if I'm not holding myself to this standard, or if they're not holding myself to this standard, then I don't have to hold myself to that standard. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm not blaming that on women. I think it goes back and forth.
Yeah.
But I think that's what it is.
What were you thinking a minute ago when I was saying all that?
Oh, about the beach?
Yeah.
Oh, I have a different kind of view on the whole thing about the 1960 with the beach or whatever. I do think people were healthier back then to a certain degree, but I also don't think the bigger people, I don't think that was a place they went. I think there was back then I think it was bad, but I think it was true. I think back then there was just also a way bigger level of shame.
Yeah, people weren't as acceptable.
Yeah, to be obese and then you'd be at the beach. I just don't think you would see people there like that. Just like, trying to think of an example, but sometimes there's places where you don't think you would see people just because it's not the spot that they would associate themselves with. And I don't think back then those people associated themselves with the beach. I am glad now that everybody can be acceptable.
Right.
To be there.
That's a good point because I didn't even think about that. Like imagine if like me and you went.
Yeah.
Right. And then you go and then there's somebody there. And maybe not even like, because that's what I'm thinking. Like, because like me and you wouldn't be mean.
No.
But maybe they just see us and they're like,
for sure.
They're like, I don't want to be out there in my bathing suit.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Versus like nowadays, nobody even like, you go to the beach and there's people there. You're like, hey, how's it going? You know? Is a spot available over here? You know, like it's chill.
Yeah. I think we're getting to this point, and I love it so much to where people are really starting to kind of wanting to be healthy for themselves.
Yeah.
Versus, obviously, you do want to look good.
Yeah.
But like when I first started working out, I didn't think I looked good, and I wanted to work out to look good.
Yeah.
But now I'm at this position now that's like, I like doing it. For one, I like doing it. And then number two, I just like being healthy. Mm-hmm. It's like I was telling you on the car ride when we had to cut the podcast to take the stuff to Canada.
Yeah.
I just like going to the gym.
Yeah.
And I rode the bike this morning. I really didn't want to. And I did, but I feel great now that I did it. So I definitely think that's part of it. And we're getting to this point to where nobody is making you feel ashamed for how you are, but everybody wants you to get better.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, guys. John, will you want to leave us with anything?
Let me think. If you're going through anything, you got anything tough, even something small maybe. Maybe you got some stress on you that you didn't realize, right? Work towards fixing that, you know? And if it's being unhealthy, there's a way to work towards that. There's resources, as I've said many times, available for free out there for you to get the help you need. You just got to put in a little bit of effort.
Yep. And ask me a question in the comment section, guys.
Yeah.
I love talking about health and stuff.
Yeah. So, but we love all y'all. We
Yep.
thank you. Like,
Yep.
comment, subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.
We're out.